Hey, Stubby here, and we are back on another episode of Encrypted. Alright, so we are now on version 2.0, the essentially final version of the game. There's going to be bug fix updates, I'm sure. Uh, but we've kind of hopped up every other update, getting us up to here. And I believe Cryptic has the pack where he wants it. So I want to start off with that. So we are on 2.0. There was some big changes. I haven't looked at them yet. I've been prepping stuff, but there's supposed to be end game lore coming in, which should be end of file. Up in here, we should have some lore. We're not going to read that yet. We're going to get to it when we get to it. I want to be surprised. But there's just been minor changes here and there, little tweaks, getting it all going. So where are we at? We are at create. So I kind of built everything and then tore it back down, but I got enough to get us through this first little bit, and I found a blaze spawner. So I want to get this bad boy going right here. Pretty simple. We'll be able to actually craft that on the go thanks to this little pretty boy. We just need to get some plates. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this area down over here and get ourselves set back up. I got ourselves set back up. I just need to grab a few iron pieces. So what I did is a simple windmill. This was how I powered it the first time. And I just used 4 sails. Now the recipe is slightly different. Use 2 sticks, block of wool, and Answered Alley gives you a regular sail instead of having to make the frame into the sail. So, or you could do, see, no other way to do it. And then we got the windmill bearing behind there, and it's just going slow. I don't have it optimized in any way, shape, or form. Up high to get more wind, more sails, whatever. It's working. So what I did is I have a large cog to a small cog, which will spin that one faster. And on that shaft is another large cog. You can already see it's making more speed to another small cog, and it's feeding that one. So we'll throw our iron plates down, maybe get them in the right spot, and watch this bad boy go. Now, the faster you go, the faster this will go up and down and press, but there is a limit in terms of stress, which I don't have the goggles, so you can't see the actual amount of stress on here. But, oh, there we go. Let it knock out those last 2, and we're going to go on an adventure to the Nether. So let's dump off this excess stuff for now. Try to save it. We'll keep our food. We'll grab a sword. And I feel like I have a shield somewhere. I do. Let's see if I can find where I put that darn blaze, where that blaze spawner is at. I like wandered around the Nether fortress and I found it. So let's hope and pray I can get there again. I also need to grab at least one netherrack while I'm in there, which I've been grabbing a bunch. As you'll see as we get in there, it's been cleared out a lot. But, you know, and dumping it into chemicals. This way. The other part was, I don't know if I mentioned it, but over to the west, that's one of those bastions with the pigmen and the brutes. And that's where I got the blackstone. Worked out really well. Ow. Where's the way in? Over here. Okay, so let's see if I can remember. I went this way. And so I made it, after a lot of running, I made it all the way to the spawner and realized I needed another act to go make this. I had to go all the way back to the spawn, or the portal thing, and find the netherrack. And the spawner should be around. Oh, there it is. And you're not spawning, which is interesting. You spawned last time I was here. Run! Come to Papa. Come on. I want some blaze rods. Come over here. No! Run! No! Oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. I gotta run. Silly. Ah! Got one! Run! Nobody ever said I was a smart combatant. I think I'm gonna have a clean shot on the other ones. Ooh, there's a little tunnel right there. Ah! No! Ah! Ah! Alright. Ah. Oh, it was worth a try. Alright, I'm gonna get my stuff, come back, and we're gonna keep moving. Took a couple of deaths. I may have went and tried to fight again. Nothing new there. Stubby is very stubbylicious. Got a bunch of these presents that I'm not gonna bother opening right now. Crimson roots. What do I get out of you? Cellulose and mercury. Not bad. I'm gonna hold on to that netherrack. And that's gonna go over here. Let's go ahead and dump that out. There you go. Alright, so we got ourselves a blaze burner. Now the blaze burner is gonna come in really handy. If you look at the recipes with this. What? I could have just did that. Ah, those are so easy to make. Ah, well. Mixer, I believe, is the recipe one I'm looking for. So if you look at these, some of them will say heated, some of them will say superheated, some of them will say no heat. Like, for example, I can get mundane potion just like this. It's kind of flip past out of the liquids. Yeah, quite. Jeez Louise, all the splash potions. We're not looking at brewing. Oh, I'm in the brewing tab. Ha, that might be why. All right. So teas, chocolates, there we go. So you see like this right here. To get a blazing pickaxe heated, some say superheated, which means you have to feed it with a blaze cake. And some say no heating required. So if I just have this placed down below the cauldron for it, or mixing basin, without feeding it anything, it will perform those no heated recipes, like this one. If I feed it with any burnable objects such as coal, wood, things like that, it'll become heated and I can do these recipes. Or I create a blaze cake. Interesting. I can create a blaze cake and feed it this, which is lava into a blaze cake base, which is an egg, some sugar, and some cinder flour. And that will superheat it. So those are the 3 levels of heat for the mixer. Eventually, we'll kind of, hopefully, maybe possibly automate some of our needs with this. Not sure how far into that we're going to have to go with this pack, but that is going to be a thing that we will do. To some extent, it might just be manual. It might just be automated. Not 100%. There's quite a bit to do in here, and I don't want to go overly complicated where I don't have to. What do we get out of these? Just a couple more. We are back. Never hit that X button. I went to look at the rewards, hit the X, crashed out my game. That was great. All right, so next couple steps. I have a few next goals in mind before I get too far into this because I'm getting close to running automation. And the automation I want to get to is the simulation blocks. These right here, I can deploy cobblestone with the encrypted matter and get simulation blocks. Then I can put those into mechanical crafters and start mixing up all of this stuff. I see a huge potential in automating all of these chains, but I have to set up more mechanical power from create or the alternator, the motor, I believe it is, not the alternator, to convert my RF power into that. I need my RF power, which means I need to do possibly the flux system to get the wireless transfer. I want to get a mob farm going with the dreadful dirt. And if you see up here, my plan is going to be the dreadful dirt. I'm going to use a fan, a mob masher, an absorption hopper. Call it a day. Just set it up. But I need to get obsidian because I'm going to need to start putting all of those mob drops into drawers when I can. And then I'm going to have to void out the excess. And I'll probably need some more drawers. So the first thing we need to get into is tinkers. Now, we've already talked about tinkers on episode 1. We've talked about the crafting system with it. There's a whole nother system that has to do with the metallurgical side of it, and that's where we want to get into today. So I want to make the seared bricks, which is going to be made from grout, and we're going to use this recipe right here. 1 block of clay, 4 sand, 4 gravel, 8 grout. And I should have more clay. Boom, boom. And then we have to get this cooking. And this should be more than enough to do everything I need within this first batch. We'll have to get some copper going. So let's look at copper. And we'll probably just go 2 stacks for now. And you should be right here. Let's look at copper. Or were you this one? Copper. Yeah, no, it was this one. Dust. There we go. We're going to need a little bit of copper once we get up and running with our tinkers. And there is a quest chain right here in the create line for it. If you can see, we're going to have to start with the melter, which is your introductory into melting the metals, the elements down. And it's going to need a melter, it's going to need the heater for it, and it's going to need a way to pour out the materials, which is going to be the faucet, the basin, things like that. And then once we get that operating, we can run the copper through the melter and we'll be able to create the smeltery controller, which will then open up a much larger metallurgical, I'm having fun with that word, aspect for us to play with. So we need to get seared. We're going to need a faucet. We're going to need the basin. We'll probably need the casting table, but I'm going to hold off on that one for a minute. Now the heater is what we will melt, right? Which one was it? Smeltery controller. It's copper over a seared brick. Oh, nice. It's even easier. So let's grab ourselves a heater, which is going to be done to make the first initial Probably should have just went and grabbed. Oh no, that was a quest. Okay. And the melter, which we're gonna need a fuel gauge of sorts. Some glass. Do we have enough? The question remains. And my unorganized cluster of need 2 more. One. You can do it. There we go. So the gauge. And melter. That should open up everything but the bricks. And we'll grab ourselves a cup of coal. And let's just set this up. And it's not really going to matter where we're setting it up at for this first one, because this will be a temporary one. We'll put that basin right here. Connect that in. And let's see, how many does it need? Smeltery, I believe it's 4, but let's just double check. 4 ingots. So go ahead and put the first 3 in. Heat it up. That's working. You see it's melting. It'll turn into molten copper. We'll add 1 more in. Boom. Boom. And now we have our smeltery controller, which now we can actually get into the tinkers that we want to get into. And the reason I want to get into this is I can do a little bit of automation with it, and I will be able to automate obsidian. Now, right now, it's not going to be the best automation because I'll have to move this whole line to actually do it the way I want to. So there'll be this is going to run more manual than anything else, but I'm going to probably just set it up right here, make it work, call it a day. Now, let's see. So we need a few more things now that we've opened this up. We're going to want our casting table. We're going to want the drain, which I believe also required copper, didn't it? 2 copper ingots. And where are you at? The chute, which would be, so the drain is your output. It pours the liquids into those casting devices, and the chute is your solid input. You can put stuff in through the drain, which is how I'm going to do it. It's for your liquids. But say you wanted to put ingots in, you wanted to automate it, or you wanted to put blocks of clay in to get more seared, you can use the chute to hopper those items in. Go ahead and pull that out. We'll put it right there. And I will get 2 more of those running. Drain. Go ahead and get all 4. I know it's 4, correct? Yeah. Now, I don't really know if I have enough to do a larger one. So we'll do a little bit smaller for the first one and then expand it as we need to. So it can go any size from a 1 opening, which would be a 3x3 design. I want to say the max is like 14. But we're going to start with a 2x2 concept and see if we have enough to go beyond that. quick looking at it. Tank, controller, drain, drain. That'll need 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we do. Sweet. Let's go ahead and make it a 3x3. 5, 6. I think we'll actually be one shy of it. So I'll need 1 more of those, and we want to get the fuel tank, which is 3 more glass. And we need our metal bucket. Metal bucket. Boom. And this will hold 4 buckets of lava, and this will be the heat for our smeltery. So we'll put a chute right here, a chute right here, block of clay, and the heat source, a controller, and now we have a functional smeltery. Now let's go ahead and put this bad boy here, and that bad boy there. Boom. Boom. Now the last automation step, which I'm not going to set up yet, would be to put a hopper underneath this, and then above this you put, or next to it, since I only have one, you can put a lever which will automatically start pouring it out. Now we want to get a couple different things. Let's go grab ourselves a bucket. I don't like that bucket. That one. Two buckets of water. And let's look, what is the blend? Obsidian is 50 to 100. So for every bucket of water, you'll need 2 buckets of lava. And now we have the molten obsidian. Let's go ahead and throw another one in. And that should give us 4 blocks now. So it's not a very easy process, but sure beats pickaxing up all the obsidian blocks. And we'll get better ways soon. I wonder if... Oh, interesting. But, so this is going to be the process that I'm going to do in between episodes to get Obsidian to start putting the voids in. And I'm going to build out our mob farm. Like I said, so it's going to be consistent of a mob fan, a mob masher, rotten dirt, which is a very simple recipe, some stack chlorine, stack sulfur, stack carbon, an egg, which is not too bad. And some of these upgrades, which we're going to have to do the feathers, which is keratin, which we have a bunch of. And that'll probably just go a temporary one out there. The absorption hopper is in the shop, and it's pretty cheap. which sure beats absorption. Trying to figure out how to get an eye vendor because I don't have the niobium, I believe is the term of it. So in between episodes, I'm going to get a mob farm running with those objects. I'm going to get a bunch more obsidian, and we'll start figuring out how we're going to get ourselves to automate the mob farm, inputting into some chests, figuring that side out. We'll end up figuring out our RF storage. So those are the big highlights for the next episode. Then we can start working through more of create. We've got to get down this one right here, getting ourselves into steel through immersive engineering, and just a bunch of little things in here that we want to get to. So until next time, I'll see you around. Stubby out.